In today's episode of What Happened to Them, we are going to be looking back at the December 18th, 1976 Billboard Hot 100 edition. And this was almost 50 years ago. And I'm going to look and see what exactly has happened to each of the top 20 songs. I'll be giving you interesting song facts, maybe potential movies that have used these songs that I not even heard of or forgot about until looking up and doing research for this video. Anything and everything about this song will be mentioned in the top 20. So let's get started on what happened to the Billboard Hot 100 charts of December 18th, 1976. Coming in at number 20 is going to be Love Ballad by LTD. And to be honest, I had never even heard this song until I was looking up the top 20 for this week. So the peak of this song was at number 20. And I'd actually heard the George Benson cover that came out a year later, and it actually did better on the charts. It peaked number 18, 2 spots higher than this one. This was LTD's first song that charted on the Billboard Hot 100. Their highest charting song would end up being Every Time I Turn Around, Back in Love Again, which came out in November of 1977. Number 19 is going to be Living Thing by ELO. The song eventually reached its top position of number 13 a few weeks later, and for the year of 1977, it was number 77 for the year. The soundtrack for the film's last sequence and end credits is included in the 1997 motion picture Boogie Nights. After seeing a screening of the movie with director Paul Thomas Anderson, Jeff Lynne decided to relinquish the song's rights after first refusing. Number 18 is I Wish by Stevie Wonder. Wonder wrote and produced this song, which is about how he wishes he could travel back in time and relive his boyhood from the 1950s to the early 1960s. On both the Billboard Hot 100 and the Soul Singles chart, the song eventually peaked at number 1, and for the year of 1977, it was the 51st song of the year. Stevie Wonder received the Best R&B Vocal Performance Male Grammy at the 19th Grammy Awards for this song. Number 17 is Car Wash by Royce. Producer Norman Whitfield first wrote it on a paper bag from a fried chicken restaurant. The song eventually peaked at number 1. The soundtrack generated 2 more hit songs, I Want to Get Next to You and I'm Going Down, and it sold 2 million copies. And one of the songs was later covered in 1994 by Mary J. Blige. The 1977 Grammy Award for Best Scorer Album went to the soundtrack of Car Wash. Number 16 is Love Me by Yvonne Elliman. And I had heard the Bee Gees' original version of the song. I had not heard this one before. I was surprised it charted this high at number. It peaked at number 14. It was number 16 for this week. The Bee Gees cover, I'm a fan of that. It's one of the more underrated tracks in my opinion. There was later on a cover by Martine McCutcheon, who was a bit of a hit in the UK. But this was Yvonne Elliman's first top 20 hit in 5 years. At number 15 is Stand Tall by Burton Cummings. The Guess Who Cummings' old band released Dancing Full, the group's final smash single, less than 2 years before the song's release. Stand Tall spent 21 weeks and 10 weeks at number 10 on the US Billboard Hot 100. It received a 1977 Juno Award nomination for Composer of the Year in Canada. And this was Burton Cummings' biggest solo hit, and it peaked at number 10. At number 14 is Hotline by the Silvers. The song depicts the tale of a young man who is in love but longs to speak to his sweetheart on the phone. He asked the operator to connect the call but asked them not to listen in. This was the Silvers' second biggest hit. This song eventually peaked at number 5 in early 1977. The song was recognized as the 25th biggest hit song of 1977 by Billboard. At number 13 is I Never Cry by Alice Cooper. Cooper's experiences with alcoholism, which led to the performer's admission to treatment a year later, were the inspiration for the song I Never Cry. Cooper only had 2 gold records in the US. The other was his 1989 comeback song, Poison. On the US Billboard Hot 100, the song peaked at number 12 a few weeks later. Cooper performed I Never Cry live on all of his tours up until his tour hiatus due to his crack cocaine addiction, and then he had a subsequent relapse into alcoholism after the 1981 Special Forces tour. At number 12 is Daz by Brick. The term Daz, a combination term for disco jazz, refers to the fusion of disco, funk, and jazz. This was their most popular song and it was released in 1976 from their debut album, Good High. This spent 4 weeks at the top of the R&B singles list and also peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it was number 41 on the year-end chart list. Number 10 is Nights Are Forever Without You by England Dan and John Ford Coley. With Get Closer, Jim Seals, Dan's brother, simultaneously had a song in the top 10. After more than 10 years of performing together, Nights Are Forever Without You launched England Dan and John Ford Coley into the spotlight alongside I'd Really Love to See You Tonight. After the overnight success of its predecessor, the duo asserted that the success of this song gave them more confidence. Number 9 is You Are the Woman by Firefall. The song, which was written by Rick Roberts when he was the leader of the group, is notable for Chuck Kirkpatrick's lead vocals and David Muse's flute playing. Josh Kelly reworked You Are the Woman for the Herbie Fully Loaded album from 2005. Blue Suede, a Swedish band, also covered it. At number 8 is Nadias theme by Barry Day Vorzen and Perry Botkin Jr. The song was first included on the soundtrack for the 1971 film Bless the Beasts and Children. Easy listening group Sounds of Sunshine then created a cover version of it in 1974. The song was then made available as a single in August of the same year, as it started to be associated with Comaneci during the 1976 Olympics. Since then, more recordings of Nadia's theme have been made. The song has been frequently utilized by different radio and television programs, as well as sampled by other artists. It took 5 years for it to become a top 10 hit in the US. Number 7 is Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word by Elton John. The melancholy ballad Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word is about a failing romantic relationship. The song was first written by Elton John in Los Angeles in 1975. While Bernie Taupin wrote the lyrics for many of Elton John's songs first and John added the music afterward, John created the melody and the majority of the lyrics for Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word before Taupin added the rest. The song eventually peaked at number 6. Number 6 is More Than a Few Songs of All Time. It comes in at number 212. Number 5 is You Make Me Feel Like Dancing by Leo Sayer. It was his first number 1 single in the country according to the Billboard Hot 100 list. It was selected as the 13th most popular song of 1977 by Billboard. According to Ray Parker Jr., who he did Ghostbusters, he was the original songwriter of the song, and then when he provided the music as a demo, no one recognized him in the credits. Leo Sayer had a guest appearance in the 2008 Wiggles DVD You Make Me Feel Like Dancing, which used this song as its title track. Number 4 is Muskrat Love by Captain and Tennille. Muskrat Love was a song that Captain and Tennille recorded for their 1976 album Song of Joy. In December of that year, the song peaked at number 4 on the Hot 100 and number 2 on Cashbox. The original version of it was done by Willis Allen Ramsey, and then America covered it a year later, and Captain and Tennille had the most success with it. It is now a mainstay on Worst Songs list according to a CNN.com poll from 2006, among others. The movie Anchorman 2: The Legend Continues from 2013 features it. Number 3 is You Don't Have to Be a Star by Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. It was a crossover hit when it was taken from their album I Hope We Get to Love in Time, and it spent 6 months on the chart, reaching number 1 at the end of 1976 and early 1977. After selling over 1 million copies and eventually getting a gold certification, It brought the duo a Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals in 1977. Number 2 is Rubber Band Man by the Spinners. Tom Bell, a music producer, and Linda Creed, a singer/songwriter, wrote the song about Bell's son, who was bullied by his peers for being overweight. The song subsequently changed from being about the fat man to the rubber band man, in an effort to help his son feel better about himself. The lead vocals on the Spinners' final success were heard on the song. The song saw a spike in popularity in 2018 as a result of its inclusion in the Avengers Infinity War movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And number 1 is Tonight's the Night by Rod Stewart. This was the biggest number 1 hit since the Beatles' Hey Jude in November of 1968. Needless to say, it was the biggest selling song of 1977, and in a 2018 article, according to Billboard, this was the 19th most popular song in the Billboard Hot 100 history. And that's what happened to the top 20 from December 18th, 1976. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know if there is a particular year or chart week that you'd like me to cover in another video. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you want to see more of these types of videos, and I'll see you in the next video.